Good afternoon. This is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com. Welcome. Today is April 19th, and I'm here today to talk to you about IBM. Not only is this the play of the day, the play of the week, I'm even going to proclaim right now, since it's only one more week left in the month, that this is the play of the month. This is the call of the month. This is the best call. This is one of the best calls I have ever made in my trading career. The call that I made on this today. And it actually went, the dream target on this, dream target was $190.50, and it went almost $1 past the dream target. The low of the day, I think this is over. I mean, I'm out of this. You know, it's almost 3 o'clock. Yeah, you know, you traded this today, you had a huge day, and every single person that was in my trading room today did this, and everybody had a great day. In fact, some people in the room had the best days I've ever had today. And it was a very active day. I did this, I did GE, but this was the one. I mean, this was huge. And it went down, the low there was 189.75. 76-ish. So it was 75 cents. It went 75 cents past the dream target. And why did this do this today? I got up in the morning and I saw this right away, and I said, this is perfect. This is perfect. And I said, this is what we're doing. And I did like GE as well, but I said, this is the one. And my intuition told me, do it, Melissa. It's going to get set up. It's going to give it to you. You know, sometimes you have to learn how to play all kinds of stocks and all kinds of price ranges when they gap. Why? Because they provide extremely good entries when they want to do it, when they want to go. And this certainly did it today. In fact, is this going to keep dropping now? I have to be done with this now. Went a little bit under. Well, here's what it did. It just broke a little teeny weeny bit under this bar here, under 189.83. Yeah, this is done. This is done for the day. I mean, I think this just bleeds down to the end of the day or retraces up a little bit, but it pretty much will close the day looking like this. The way that it looks right here is similar to what the bar is going to close on the day. And IBM is capable of running $10 on the day easily. It almost did it here. The high of the day was 196.50, and the low here is 189.76. What's this bar over here? Yeah, this bar is $6 plus on this day, and today it went more than that, almost $7. So this was a perfect gap, and it was a golden gap, and I use a 26-point rating system to find these gaps and rate these gaps to determine if they're good to play. The interesting thing is that many places out there that teach gap trading do not teach as detailed of a system as I do. And the system that I teach was very helpful today for a lot of reasons. Why? Because many people just look at what happened in the last few days of trading to make a decision on a gap, and I don't do that. I look at many, many different things. I look at 26 things, and that's how you have to get the best read on what's going on. I'm sure many people, I'm sure a lot of people, I'm sure very few people did not get the entry I called in this today. However, they got a later entry on it, which is why I kept pushing down farther and farther and farther. But I got the best entry on this, which is what made it such a huge trade. When you call something at the top before it goes and blows, that's how you're making a lot of money. That's how you're making huge profits in trades. You get something halfway down the move. Yeah, you've got confirmation, but you're also don't even make as much money. Now, in this case, obviously today, this did go, like I said, 75 cents past the dream target on the day. However, I really prefer to get in a trade early in the morning, as soon as I can, book it and go. In fact, let's look at the sheet. This thing did exactly what it was supposed to do. So I rated this morning. It rated 23 points. And here's what I said it had to do. No more than a 3 green bar, 1-minute rally on the open. And in an ideal world, it doesn't trade over 198, which I knew then by the time I was opening that it shouldn't do that anyways. Although I was going to give it all the way up to 196 or 199.50 at one point. But then after it started going harder in the morning, I said no, 198. So this did not rally 3 green bars or more than that on the open, which was good. So it met that requirement. Then I said, either either way, it must set up and trigger by 9:45, preferred by 9:40 a.m. And do you know that this triggered at 9:40 a.m.? This triggered at 9:40 a.m. This thing did everything perfectly. And I said it was a perfect app, and that's why it rated 23 points. You know, the objective of my system is not to get perfect score. It's to rate and play the best rated gap, in which case today this was. And this is why it looks like this. And honestly, you know, this is a hold. This is an entry for a swing trade now. If you did this trade, the first target has to be 185-ish. The next target down here is 177. After that, it's 174-ish, 173.75, and so on and so forth. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. This is one of the best calls I've ever made in my life. One of the best entries and calls I've ever made in my life. With the spot I got it at, the small amount of risk for a size of a move like this, and we're gonna go over it. Why was this so great? I quizzed everybody in the room then after we were trading it, and everybody was excited, and by then everybody was happy because they were all up. I quizzed everyone and I said, why do you think this is so great today? You know, without talking about it for an hour, why? What I saw this actually yesterday. Every morning I go over and I say, this is what I want to work, and if it works, it's really, really good. And when I looked at this yesterday, I said, if this gap's down, it's really, really good. And I was going to play it as a gap down no matter what it did, quite frankly. If this had gapped here, I would have done it. If it had gapped anywhere in here, I would have done it. If it had gapped here, I would have done it. And it actually was around here at some point this morning, kept going. And I said I was doing it no matter what if it gapped down, because I knew it was beautiful, and it was, and it is. So the reason that what I saw in this that was so fabulous, that I absolutely loved, is what I was trying to explain when I talk to people about stocks making tops. People love to pick tops. I don't do that, but I can read when a top is setting itself and forming itself, and then the gap confirms it. And that is what happened here, okay? And it actually happened way before here. Where did this actually first gap? Not today, although today was the bigger, if you were looking for real confirmation of a change in trend in this, you got it today. But actually, the first gap in this wasn't today. Here's the first gap in this. Now, Melissa, would have known this was a good one. Why? Stock ran up here to all-time highs. Tried to get over it, couldn't get over it. Came down in on itself, tried to get over it, did a buy setup, and gap down immediately after that. This was the entry, really was the entry, and the sign that this was going lower. Now, I wiggled and jiggled a little over this, and that typically doesn't happen, but it didn't even matter. You got another one here, even if you wanted to do it. Again, it wiggled and jiggled over it, but look. When it came back up, it held this gap when it came back up there. When even that came back up there, it held this resistance area here, which it really needed to do. And then today was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It didn't even matter. This ran and had this had a huge bar yesterday. Look at it. Huge bar yesterday, a $4 drop. The market came in yesterday, this dropped with the market. It didn't even matter. $4 drop. Look at the size of this gap. It didn't matter, and I knew it wasn't going to matter, and I knew it wasn't perfect, and I played it aggressively. And boy, this was a huge day for me. So what I was quizzing everyone on about this was what I saw in this chart yesterday. If the stock gapped down, which it did then, and that's why I decided to play it, was this run up here. Look. Beautiful. Ran all the way up to new highs up there, okay? And then this happened quickly afterwards. So this was terrific. This was terrific. This is terrific. And this chart is damaged now. And you've got the confirmation if you were waiting for it and really wanted the confirmation. Although if you read it the way that I read it, if you're really good at reading charts like I am, you would have known that this thing was going to turn right there. Or here. You wouldn't even needed to wait today. And if you would have shorted this up here, look at what you'd be up today. And of course, people are selling out of this today, and people are also shorting it too. That's what makes these bars like this. These bars are everything. But you know what started the day? Do you know what started the entire trading day today? This beautiful, beautiful move. Guess what? It started with a swoosh. My signature play My signature play started out today in my top rated gap with a swoosh. This is a reason to take my class in and of itself. What is a swoosh? A hard, fast, quick, immediate movement down in one direction in a stock, confirming the bias in the first 5 minutes of the day. And it did it. What happened? Here it is. It opened. I saw this happening live. It ran up to 196.50. It came down. It broke 195 and dropped like a rock in 3 minutes. 9:30, 9:31, 9:32. It went from 196.50 all the way down here almost to 192. It didn't bounce off of it, but almost. And it ran almost $4.50. Almost $4.50 it ran in 30 minutes. That is a swoosh by any standards, by any chart, and specifically even IBM. $4.50 in 3 minutes, that's a swoosh. People dumped and sold out of this immediately on the open. And where were those people? Who were the people that really couldn't get off of it here, that didn't see what I saw here and insisted on staying in it long, and probably even bought in here and bought in here too, even though this wasn't a great buy. This was a terrible buy, actually. It was a terrible buy that day. Looking at this here. Because this was a terrible buy. Now, I know, people like to buy in the 50. Why is this a terrible buy? It's a gap down, and not a bad one either. There was a short play in this on the day. In fact, let's go look at that. The 5th. Hold on. Let me just see. I don't remember the reason for this gap, though. Let's just see how this set up in the morning. That can tell you a lot, too. Really, really can tell you a lot, too. Look. Hold on. Probably didn't have as good of entry as it did today. Although this isn't really bad. This isn't really bad at all. Held the high of the day in the open and kept it here. So when you took this, when it triggered, you got in. This was actually 45 cents then, was a stop plus a spread. 208.85, you had an ad here that's beautiful. And it's not that far away from your price, and I don't like to take ads that are far away from my price. Reversal time 9:40. Down in here, you're already up $1. You can add even more in here. Well, you got a nice $2.50 move in this. See, the play on this was short on the gap. There it is, $2.50 move. So that paid, and the risk reward paid, and the ad was in there, and you could have lowered the stop. And that was, so that was a good gap. I didn't rate this gap. I don't remember the reason for this gap. However, it worked, and it had a short play in it, and that was another thing you would have known why it was good. I mean, but I can see in the chart here that that was good, and this wasn't a good place to buy. And look what happened if you did. And this is not a good bullish gap up either, by the way. So the move in this IBM was fantastic today because it was confirming and giving confirmation for people to exit that were in this long. Anyone that decided they were going to buy here is underwater today. Any of these people that bought in here, which some people did, you can see the green, bought, sold out in here today. All these people are out, okay? They're underwater, all these people. And these people here that bought in this area here probably did not get out with these levels here because they were still up. Okay, but then they must get out today unless they want to put a blindfold on or have to refund their account. Okay, so a lot of people that were hanging on to this thing here, hoping it would recover on any kind of bounce in here and carry through, had a problem today. And I want to note the market was green today. The market power trended all day, which I've been calling to do actually for a while. It finally power trended today, and I think we trigger and continue and follow through on Monday. I'll have to look at that later. But this fabulous, this is fabulosity times 1,000. Swoosh heaven right here. And this worked so beautiful despite the market power trending all day, which is what? This is the power of the gap. This is the power of the golden gap. The golden gap. I love what I have taught myself in the market so terrifically, so fabulously. Let's go back to today. What a great way to start second quarter earnings season. What a fantastic week. And what a great way to start second quarter earnings season. So I called the trade in this in the morning, and I actually held it and got out and had the perfect exit into the position on the drop here into right before lunch. Then I watched it rally back. And then I called another trade in it. And I said, as long as this holds 193, it's lower. And I said it was going to break under the low of the day, but I was originally figuring when it broke under here, it was under 191. Because it didn't touch down into 191. This never did really any kind of bounce that would have made you think it was over. It's still really not going to do that today. I don't think it's just going to bleed here into the close. But I said 190.50. I was thinking 190.50, 190 once it broke the low of the day. And I said, as long as this holds 193 here, I called a trade in here. I said, shortage. I said, just take it. Take it. I called it before. The trigger was holding the number. I said, take it. Take it here, put the stop over 193. And then the target is the low of the day, or 190.50 or 190. This was an incredible, every call I made in this was incredible. Every call I made in this was incredible today. This made, my whole week between this and Crust and GE, and there were just so many this week. There were so many ones, but this is one of the best trades I have ever called. The entry and the call that I made in this, and what helps me do this? I know what I do extremely well. I am the queen of these bearish gaps. I'm the queen of gaps as far as I'm concerned. I can read what they're doing. I can see them live in real time when they set up. I also can see the entries in the second that they're setting up and getting ready to trigger right at the number when they're doing everything right. And when this opened, it confirmed the immediate weakness. I had figured everything out, wrote it on the sheet at 8 o'clock this morning, what it wanted to do. And you know what? It did it. So then you don't then you just trade, and you just take it when it calls, when it does it, when it triggers. The thing is, people say to me, why don't you do bullish gaps? Why don't you do anything else? What other strategies, Melissa? Hello, IBM. This is why I don't need to. Okay. Number one, I don't need to. Number two, I don't want to. I love these things and I don't need to. And the reason I became so good at doing this is because this is all that I do. The reason you can get good at something if you stick with it and do that thing and become an expert in it. You have to become a specialist in something. This is how you're going to be able to trade a stock at this price point with 100% conviction. Do it, do the ads, get it to the target, do everything right. The only way you're ever going to get to this next level in your trading is if you get to become good at something. And that is where it is at. I mean, this is the ticket. You want a golden ticket? This is it. Golden gaps, getting the gap right, getting the direction of the stock right, trading them aggressively when they rate high, and getting the entries correctly. This is how you get huge, huge, huge plays. The only way to get huge money on a stock is to make sure you get the entry right, and so you can take size in it, and you have to carry it through to the bigger target. How can you do that? You need to have conviction. If you don't have conviction in something, it's going to be really, really, really hard for you to do an ad, to hold it to target, to trade it, to do anything at all. And the entry that I took in this today was probably one of the best entries I've seen that IBM could even give. Remember, you're looking at very expensive stocks as far as the price point, so sometimes the stops are big. I'm always trying to perfect them down and find the smallest, tiniest stops that I have so I can take the most size I can and put the stop still at a comfortable place. And I even gave this a little more wiggly room even after I sized it today, just because I had so much conviction in it, and it also retested it. And the market was rallying. The market was power trending and rallying, and I held this through. When I was already in this thing, and it started backing up here, did not break the low of the day. I did not get out of the trade because I knew I was never going to get a better price than I had, okay? So I let it rally up in here, and I held through this rally into the trade for the bigger target. My price was way above 94 in this. I'm telling you, the call I made in this was first rate. I'm going to go over this trade in detail in a webinar I'm doing on Monday night for people. I'm going to have to use this as an example because this was so great. I can't not use it as an example. And there were so many people. There were so many people that had the biggest days they ever had today trading in my room, and they were so happy. And congratulations to them for having the guts to do it with me. Because if you just took the class that I did last month and you're new to trading gaps, I know it takes a lot to do these things, but if you take my class, you see the entries when I call them, so you'll know to do it, and that helps to give you conviction. I mean, that is the reason to take the class and learn the information. It empowers you to be able to do it. I call the trades and I do them myself, but I can't press the button for people. And, you know, I said to everybody this morning, listen, if you're not comfortable doing this, do something else. Do GE, okay? You've got to be comfortable doing this. You got to stick with it. And when this puppy rallied back up in here, I stuck with the trade. I stuck with the trade. I didn't kill it. The market was rallying and power trending, and I said, this isn't doing anything wrong, this isn't doing anything wrong, this isn't doing anything wrong. And do you know when it rallied up here, it held over under 94? I mean, this thing was so beautiful today. I can't even remember the last time I played something that was so fantastic. This did everything I teach. Actually, I think it had every setup in it that I teach. This stock had, yeah, I think it did. Wait, let me look at the 15-minute. It had every combination of entry of the 6 entries I teach. It had in it today. I mean, that is perfection. Absolute perfection. It's fantastic, fantastic short on IBM today. And, you know, the thing is that when you learn how to trade, there's nothing like making money. To be able to trade and profit from it and take the information you learn and turn it into real cash is the most rewarding, you know, thing that you can possibly do. And for me, myself, I've been doing this myself for a long time on my own. And now that I'm teaching people for the last few months and I'm seeing people that I'm teaching have success making money and the comments they're making to me, it's rewarding. It's rewarding that I can even do this and call it live in front of people. That's very, very challenging. And I've really just grown to a whole new level in my trading, seeing things, you know, so clearly with everything it's supposed to do and writing it down on the sheet and saying this is what I want it to do. And then when it does it, you take it. There's no hesitation when something sets up and does everything you want it to do. You must take risk to make money. And this is a perfect example of why it's worth it. You know, you could go through and have learned many different trading strategies and not gotten anywhere with them. You could have been back and forth with different stuff in the market on and off for years trying to figure yourself out. You could be trying to do Forex. You could be trying to do futures. You could be trying to do whatever you want to do. I will never, ever trade anything other than equity gaps. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it for me. Day trading them, swing trading them, core trading. You can do everything. And I have one system that teaches you how to do the whole thing. It's called the Golden Gap. It's a 26-point rate system. This is it. You can do everything with this one little baby here and get paid. And there's no reason to do anything else ever. So this is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com. This is IBM. This is the play of the month. The play of the month today was a fantastic day trade that ran 75 cents past the dream target and is lower for a swing trade as multiple targets down the way. Is a core trade now as well. For sure, today is confirming that. When something opens and does a swoosh, it is selling off hard. There's everything happening in this today. Tons and tons and tons of selling and shorting too. This is a lot of confirmation today in the break of this chart. This is a fantastic, fantastic golden gap. I haven't traded or called a trade or anything like this and seen anything like this or had a day like this, you know, in just a long time. And there's some days where you can take just humongous size in stuff and, you know, they can drop $1. But for this thing to drop more than $3 from the call I made in it, and then another drop more than $3 from the second call I made in it, you know, is incredible. Incredible. So this is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com. If you are interested in more information and would really like to learn how to do this, how to rate these gaps, how to find these gaps, and more specifically, how to enter these gaps, how to get the entries, how to rate them, find them, know that they're good, know what you're looking for, know how to read the chart, read the price action, and to take the entry at the top to get this move, to get this thing in the price that I got it today. And not only that, to learn how to read a swoosh, play a swoosh, do a swoosh. That in and of itself gives you conviction in order how to trade. Fantastic day, and congratulations to everyone, every single person that did this with me today in my trading room. Congratulations, I'm happy for all of you. And for those of you that want to learn how to trade golden gaps, contact me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. My next gap class is not this weekend, but next weekend, and it is perfect timing to learn this stuff, April 27th and 28th. It is second quarter earnings season. It started this week. The first week of second quarter earnings season for me was fabulous. And this is a sign. It's a sign for this second quarter. It's going to be fantastic. So email me if you are interested in more information on learning how to trade these gaps. My name is Melissa, and you can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. If you're interested in the gap class on April 27th and 28th, then email me for more information. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great, fabulous weekend, everyone, and I'll see you next week.